Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be going live here in just a moment. Just going to double check a couple settings, and then we will join everyone on the live stream. Just a quick reminder is that in the video description or the description of the video below where you're viewing now, there is a place to ask questions. So what you can do is you can actually enter questions, and they'll pull up here in our sheet. So we'll be able to see all the different questions that you ask us. So go ahead and ask any questions, and we'll make sure to get that answered for you. I'm going to delete these fields. There we go. We'll have that question in there. We'll be able to answer this for you. So I'll be back in 2 minutes. We'll be able to get this started. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Sorry, I had an error with where the thank you page was redirecting people for being able to log in to be able to see the screen. So we've got the screen share up and running now. So what we'll be doing today is today's a rep focused training. So we'll be going over all the different things for reps, what they can use, what they can access, how they can use the system, everything else. So should be really really important for those new reps who are just trying to get started. Give me just 2 seconds. Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead and get started. So all of you are reps that are currently using the system, so you should all have logins to Solo as of right now. If you don't, you'll want to contact your sales administrator, manager, owner, whoever is setting you up with Solo, and be able to get that from them. And so once you have that, you'll be able to log in, access all the systems, access all the information, everything else that you need to. Excuse me. So on Solo, whenever you log in, if it's your first time logging in, you'll be able to log in, and your screen will look similar to this. It just obviously won't have customers in here. It may not have announcements in there from your company. It will have Solo announcements, but it'll probably look pretty bare. So we'll start just kind of up in your rep menu. So up here in the top right, we see sample rep right here. And sample rep, this will obviously just be your name. You know, my name is David. It would say David Wilson up here instead of sample rep if I were logged into my name. When you click on this down arrow, it's going to give you a few options. The first option is you can switch between light or dark mode, so whichever one you prefer. This will work on mobile as well. So if you log into this site, you'll just go to phx.gosolo.io on any device, and then just save that website to your home screen, and it will make it function just like an app. So I've got that done on my phone. Works really great. I haven't had any issues with it. So just save that to your screen. But when you log in, you'll be able to switch this light or dark mode. The other thing you'll see is profile. So if you click on profile, what you'll be able to do is click into this and change your password. You could change your name if you wanted to. You could change your phone number. So all of these things you're able to change to be able to edit all that information in real time. And so this will actually edit that information on our system as well as in your company's system. One of the most important things that you're going to want to do is when you come in here, make sure that this information is accurate. It's not used in any way to spam you or send you emails or notices from us. All this does is make sure that when you're sharing proposals and receiving notifications about proposals and about your customers, that you get those notifications. Probably the most important one is this phone number here. You want to make sure that phone number is accurate, and then that you choose the SMS opt-in option. This will ensure that when you request a proposal, that it actually texts you the link and the name and all the information for the customer for which the proposal was created. So texting that opt-in, once you request a proposal, you'll get a notification that says, hey, the proposal for John Doe is ready. You can click into it, you can show it, you can send it. It will just make it a lot easier for you to be able to access those proposals and get notifications over text rather than through email. So that's that first section. This time zone, all this information actually won't be available to you. It's only available to me because this is a demo account. If we click back up into here, you'll obviously have log out. Log out as is also another option you can ignore. It's only here because this is my account. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Solo to return back to my home screen. What we'll see here is we'll be hopping into one of these leads here in just a minute. I'll show you just a basic menu navigation. So your menu to access everything is here on the left-hand side. So you've got navigation, customers, proposals, docs, CAD. So you've got a number of different things. So I'm set as an owner. What I should probably do, let me see if I can log in as a rep right now so that it looks all the same. Don't have a rep setting. Okay, we'll stay logged in as an owner. So some of these may look a little different for you. Navigation, home, this is just going to take you home. So if I was on this demo customer, Stephen Smith, and I wanted to go back to my home screen, I could click on navigation, home, and it will take me right back here. If I'm on any type of screen as well and I want to click on the Solo logo, I can click on that and it's going to take me home as well. If I click on my menu, customers, this will give us a search or a create option. The search option, if I click on this, it's going to let me just search it. So I can search the customer, however it is, maybe it's, we have Stephen Smith, so I'll type in Smith, hit search, and then it will pull up Steve, our demo proposal guy. If you want to just get a rundown of all the customers you have, you can leave this search field blank and then just hit search. and then all of them that you've requested will pull up. So you can see I've gone through a lot of different test accounts and customers. So you'll be able to see that all of those will pull up. You can download that to a CSV. If you also want more parameters, you can search by state. Company would always just be your company, but you'd be able to choose by status, a bit more pieces of information. Now this other option, create, this option is the same as new customer right here. So whether you click on create and you get to this screen, or we click on new customer and get to this screen, it's going to take you to the same place. And we'll go over this process here in just a moment. Proposals, this will be just like customers. You're going to search. The one caveat about this, the one main difference is if we hit search, for instance, we'll have our customer name, and we're able to click into any one of these and say we'll click into Steven, and it's going to drop me on the customer information screen like normal. But if I go back, what's really great about this screen as opposed to the customer search screen is that this proposal search screen provides you with quick access to the proposal. So over here, this proposal ID column, you've got hyperlinks over here on the left-hand side. So whereas this will take you to your customer home screen, this will open up their proposal in a new tab. So if I want to view Steven's proposal, click on it and it opens it up for me in a new tab, and I can still be over here. Say I want to open Kenneth's, and then I want to open sample names. I can quickly open all three proposals and still stay on my same main home page. So that makes it very, very easy to work with. And we've got Steven pulled up. Perfect. Everything else, you've got your docs search. This will work the same way, and your CAD search. This will work the same way. If you want to find those customers that are in that stage, you can quickly and easily do that. What we're going to go into now is I'll go ahead and click back on Solo to go to my home screen. We're going to go through this here. So I'm going to click on New Customer. This process is the process you're going to want to be in. So when you're a sales rep and you're ready to sell a deal, you're ready to get a proposal for a customer, you're ready to kind of enter them into the pipeline, this new customer selection, this is going to be what you're going to want to do in order to actually create a new customer for you. And so when you click on new customer, this process, it only results in one thing, which is creating a proposal. So if you don't want a proposal created, don't create the customer. But if you do want a proposal, you want to get them in the database, you want to start moving towards the sales, you can create the customer and that process will be completed. Sometimes there's confusion about just being able to enter leads as opposed to leads and customers. This will ensure that you're able to, if you're sales rep and you enter a new customer, it will create a new customer. There is a permission set called a setter that you can ask your owner about. If you did want to be able to enter leads but not have them go to proposals, you can enter it in as a setter where it will just sit as a lead, and then you can decide what to do with it later. I've got some information. We'll just put in, David test, put in the phone number. One thing about this information as you're filling it out, you'll notice I'm putting in fake information, and that's because this is just going to be a fake proposal that we don't create. But when you're creating this phone number and email will be important, because when you go to share the proposal with the customer later, that proposal and that information is going to be what it pulls from. And so if you go to share the proposal with the customer and you've put a fake phone number in there, you're going to have to do that later. So if you don't have the number, obviously you don't have an option. But if you do have the number, you're going to want to put it in accurately now to avoid having to do it later in front of the customer and kind of taking any additional time to do it then. So same with the email, same story. Just make sure it's right. It's not the end of the world if it's not, because you can change it on the customer information screen, which we'll go into here in just a little bit. But you do want to just, for the sake of time and clarity, make sure that it's just done correctly from the first time. Next information, we'll just put 123 Sample Street. Actually, let's try Main Street and see if that takes us to a different location. I'm going to be in Salt Lake City, Utah. I usually do Sample Street, and it drops me in the middle of the downtown, and it makes it really hard to find a home. So we'll do 123 Main Street, Salt Lake City, Utah, 844. We'll do 84103. Once you've got all this information in, go ahead and click on Next. The point of this whole screen, so we've got our screen here, confirm location. All this screen wants to do is it's going to drop this red, black, and white pin somewhere, and this has to be on the right rooftop for us to design on it. So I'm obviously in downtown. I'm going to zoom over to this neighborhood over here. I'll go right down to this block here, and we're going to pretend like the pin dropped on this house. So what our goal is here is just to make sure that we've got this pin on the right rooftop. Now, if you don't put the pin on the right rooftop or take a moment to correct it if it's in between houses, you're going to end up getting your proposal A on the wrong rooftop, which is going to delay you when you're pitching if you're in a real-time situation, or B, you're then going to have to request a revision, and your company's going to get essentially double billed for something that you could have fixed in the first point. So what you're going to want to do is just make sure you're on the right rooftop. If you are on mobile, if you're on a desktop, iPad, tablet, Android, whatever it may be, you just want to click on the right rooftop so we design on the right house. So once that's done, you simply scroll down and click on Next. This third and final screen, this is our enter our usage screen. So this usage screen, what this does is this divides up first entering usage in 4 different ways. And I say that in 4 different ways, meaning you have 4 different options. You do not have to do all 4 every time. In fact, you really only need to do 1. It's just whatever information is available to you, that's the information that you're going to want to enter in there. So if we are, if you're on this right here, enter monthly usage. So if you enter in exact monthly usage month by month, that's going to be your best, most accurate way to submit usage to us. That will give you the most accurate proposal. We'll be able to pull the rate plans in the background. We'll be able to do all the information because you've given us great information up front. Your proposal will be more accurate and you have a better chance of closing that deal. So you would just go through and type in the kilowatt hour usage per month. Once you've got those all in, you will simply go ahead and move on to the next step. Now, if we don't have all the accurate usage, say we have a utility bill. You know, the customer has given us a utility bill. As long as that utility bill is nice and clear and it's got some 12-month history of the account, so that would be, you know, a bar chart, maybe it's a line graph, maybe it's just a simple kind of Excel style layout where it gives you month by month usage. Whatever it is, you're going to want to upload that bill nice and clear into this program. And then what our design team will do is they'll actually figure those values out and they will input them automatically for you. And so you'll just click choose bill, take a picture of the bill. It needs to be the full and entire bill, so corner to corner, nice clear image, flat on a desk, on a table, on the ground. It has to have, the reason it needs to be flat is so there's no skew when we're reading the chart, so we can make sure that those kilowatt hours are correct. But as long as it shows 12-month history, it's a nice clear image, it's flat on a table, that you can just upload and it should save you some time. That's kind of the better option. The good option is to enter yearly usage. So if the customer, maybe they moved into the home and they've got 4 months usage, you want to kind of extrapolate that data to 12 months, you can do that and just enter in, say, an average of, 8,500. Or you could just enter in, 12,000. Whatever you want it to be. This is just an annual usage. So you would just type in that annual amount, and then we would go ahead and divide that by 12. We'd mix it up. When you actually put in an average annual usage amount, we will look at NREL data for that region, and then given the NREL data in that region, what we will do is we'll actually make the usage look real as based on homes and usage in that area. So you'll be able to do it that way. Enter the average monthly bill. This is kind of a newer option that we have. So the average monthly bill, this is obviously just a way where if they typically pay around $150 and that's all they tell you and they say, hey, go ahead and create a proposal. Our bill's typically around $150. You can do that. We'll average that out over 12 months and we'll make them a proposal that way. So just keep in mind that your most accurate option is enter monthly usage. Your least accurate is average monthly bill. So the accuracy that you get depends on the effort you put in up front to get the best information from the customer. Sometimes I know it's just not available and they won't give you the information that you need. So you got to do the best with what you have. But if possible, it is awesome and the best to get the monthly usage or at least a utility bill. So that will cover our upload. The next thing you're going to want to select is your real-time or your next day options. So the difference between these two, besides price, and there is a price difference, so you will want to talk with your manager, owner, or admin about which one they want you to do. The real-time proposal, that will be back and available to you within 10 minutes or less. The next day will be back and available to you within 24 hours or less. So real-time, 10 minutes, next day, 24 hours. Simply click the radio button either way to get that. Next is your utility company. This utility company selector will only pull up utilities that are available in the state you selected in step 1, entering customer info. So when you select customer info, this will auto-populate with all the different utility companies on the back end that we've done our research on. So we have a live research team here at Solo. They go through and they actually update all of this manually. They call all the utility companies, and we have found that we've got a bigger database and a more accurate database than anything we've been able to find. We beat pretty much every competitor on the rate plans and all the information we have because it's more expansive, and we call them often enough to where it's updated to the T. So go ahead and select your utility company. I happen to know this one's Rocky Mountain Power, so I'll go ahead and click on that. If for some reason you want to do some kind of custom utility, you've got this other utility box right here. Click on other utility, type in Joe's Electric, whatever it may be, type in your price per kilowatt hour, and you're off to the races. We'll stick with Rocky Mountain Power in this example. This offset, you can choose between desired or max. I personally recommend max offset, but that is once again a choice of your owner or your admin, so you're kind of up to their discretion on that. And then the last but not least, you've got your lead type, which is just where your lead's coming from, your county, which is where the customer is located at. The county does not matter. If you don't have a county-specific rebate or county-specific fire setbacks, the county selector will not matter, so you don't have to do it if you know that none of those things are applicable. So the last but not least, you have notes. Now I'm going to spend a minute talking about notes because they really are so important. This can really determine the difference between a really good, accurate design that impresses your customers right off the bat, or you may need to actually request a revision when you're in the home because the notes weren't good. So with every account that gets set up with Solo, your owners or your managers will go through an onboarding process where we will ask them a lot of questions about how they want their proposals designed. So minimum amount of panels per array, minimum system size, panel orientation, azimuth, fire setbacks, all these questions we ask them, and then they pretty much they send us a rule book about how they want these exactly designed. And so in order to make these accurate, we follow those designs every time. Now, there's obviously certain situations where there may be a better route to take with certain homes, certain designs, certain areas, and this note section gives you, the rep, the ability to kind of override that and say, hey, follow those basic rules, but in addition, we need to make sure that we're doing A, B, and C. And so a good example is if, a home is, it's a nice home, big 2-story home, but there's a rather large garage in the back. And because you've talked with the customer, that they would rather have panels on the garage instead of the house. And so in those notes, you say, hey, please don't design on the house, put all panels on the garage, and we'll run trenching if we need to. Really easy way to make sure you get an accurate proposal the first time and that we make it correctly for you. Another situation is, say you want to show a ground mount as well as a roof mount. So in the notes you say, hey, they've got a large backyard, please put a ground mount, but also put a roof system, max them both out to 150%, and then I can select which one I want to use. So it's a really great way that if you're clear in your notes and you let us know what you want, we can make sure that happens for you. The biggest thing is that all of these proposal requests go to live humans in Utah, so they won't have any problems reading it, they won't have any problems understanding it, they won't have any problems applying that, but what they'll be able to do is read those notes, make the application to your proposal, and send you back an accurate proposal. So notes are very, very important. Once you're done with this, you would go ahead and just click Submit. I'm going to put test proposal, please ignore, so we make sure that no one messes with this, and we'll go ahead and click on Submit. Now this is going to load for a second, and then you'll see that it takes us to the customer information screen. This screen lets you know that everything's submitted correctly and that the customer's been uploaded into our system and received in the queue. The other thing you can check is you'll see this kind of sidebar here, and it will say new customer created successfully, and then my notes, and then my utility information. So you'll see all of that here. You can minimize that to the side by clicking this arrow, and then you'll get a full screen view of your customer. So at this point, I've got all the customer's information in here. I've got the PIN on the house. Everything looks good. Now I'm just waiting for my proposal. And when the proposal comes, it will come to this proposal section right here. So proposals, and then I'll see it load up in here whenever it's ready. I'm going to hop away from this screen for a second. I'm actually going to click back on Solo, and I'm going to go to Stephen Smith because this will coordinate with the proposal that we're going to be looking at. So I can see here I've got Stephen Smith. I'm going to click on proposals, and I'm going to view this proposal. This proposal is going to load up for me, and then I'll see I've got everything here right in front of me. When I click on this, you can see I've got this live chat as well. This will be the same chat bar that we had on the info screen. One thing that's really cool, like I was mentioning about the info here, if we go back to information, say for instance, we spelled Stephen's name wrong, or maybe the phone number's wrong. If we want to change that, we can see that we've got Stephen Smith on the proposal right now. Say we want to change that to George. Type in George, scroll down to the bottom and hit save. Customer successfully saved. Let's go ahead and refresh this. This will change his name to George. And so now we'll see that any update we make on that info screen will update live on the proposal as well. So if you do make an error on the phone number or on the email, it's not the end of the world. You can change it very quickly, and you can move forward with it. So we're going to move down through the proposal. What I'm going to do now is just show you kind of all the different tools that we have built into the proposal that you're able to access. Remember, as I'm going through this, if you have any questions in the video description, you can click on a link that will allow you to fill out questions, which I'll get on my end to be able to answer for you at the end of the call. So the proposal, first things first, you'll have your company logo here, obviously. You'll have the chat box here, which will allow you to chat with our team. And then on the right side, you'll have your toolbar. This is probably the most important aspect of the toolbar, because this will allow you to change realistically everything that you want within the proposal in real time. So you can change all this stuff. So I'll be hopping in and out of this toolbar and highlighting how I use each of these tools and how you can use each of these tools as I go down through the proposal. So first things first, we're going to scroll down. Keep in mind, this may look and function a little different than your company's proposal. Companies have the right and privilege to be able to kind of tweak this however they want. So keep in mind that some of these may be different than what you experience. First things first, we're going to see our solar design here. So we'll see actual panels on the roof. If you're looking at this, don't worry. We wouldn't ever put north panels in this shape on a north array when you've got a perfect south array. I've actually put these here myself for illustration purposes. So don't be alarmed that you're seeing these 6 north panels kind of out of whack. So you have panels on the roof. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see your system size, your estimated yearly production, the modules you're using, and then the inverter that you're using. So you'll be able to see all that information there. If you want to, you can click on Show Details. Under this estimated yearly production, you can click on Show Details, and this will show your array, modules, azimuth, tilt, shade, and sun hours. So all of this stuff will be here for you. You'll see total monthly production, current consumption, and then estimated yearly production. So you'll be able to see all of that information. Solo really strives to be dynamic. So the last thing that we want you to have to do is when you're in the middle of a pitch with a customer, we don't want you to have to request revisions to have to slow down your pitch. We want you to be able to simply move forward with the pitch, show the customer what they need, and adapt this proposal to suit their needs. So if you see in this proposal here, first things first that we can do is we're using Silfab 300 panels on this. Say we wanted to just switch the panel. Maybe when we want to use an REC or a Hanwha or a Panasonic, that's super easy. As long as your company sells it, you can click into your top right menu, come down to Equipment right here, click on Equipment, and then we're going to see we've got our solar panel selector and our inverter selector. So solar panels, we can click on this, and then any panel your company has chosen to have available for you will be in this list. To apply any of these panels, you simply click on, say, the Hanwha QPeak Duo 315, click on that, hit save, and then our panel type will actually change. Now that will change not only your design, that will change your system size, your yearly production, it will change your total price per watt, it will change your monthly bill, and your federal ITC. So by simply changing a panel, everything else that panel should affect will be affected immediately in real time, so that you still have a super accurate proposal, and then you've been able to change this to show the customer a different panel type immediately. So once again, click on your side menu, down to Equipment, Panels. We're going to go back to our Silfab that we had, 300 watt, click Save, and then our system size will re-update, our production will re-update. So very, very easy to change that. You can change the inverter in the same way. Now, another really cool tool is, like I said, these 6 panels, we really don't like them. We really don't need them. It looks like there's a bit more space here that we could have used to get panels. I wish I could just put these 6 down here on the south array. You can very, very easily do that in real time. So what you're going to do is go ahead and click on Edit right here. And you can toggle your sunlight as well ahead of time or kind of post. It's up to you. But you can show the customer their sunlight chart, their heat map if you want to. So we'll turn this off right now. Click on Edit. And then what we're seeing here is that we've done a max fit on this roof as per the fire codes. So this is all the panels that we could have fit on this roof. And then we'll see that we've got green ones, which are currently active. They're factoring into our offset and into our price. And then we've got red ones, which are placed and available to be activated, but they're currently not factored into the system. So we're going to hit save really quick, and we're going to notice the design looks just like this. We've got these 6 northern, and we've got these 28 southern. So let's take off these 6 northern. I'm going to click on Edit, and then I'm simply just going to click these panels off by clicking on them. All I do is click those off. We see that our offset changed, our monthly payment changed. We hit save, and now our image is different. Our system size will be different, our production will be different, and then we see now we're down to 28 instead of 34. So once again, I'm going to click on Edit, and we'll notice our offset right now is at 115, and our payment is at 127. We can toggle our sunlight on and on if we want to, on and off if we want to, excuse me. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 4 of these southern panels, and as I do, I want you to watch this offset circle and this payment to see how they go up. So we see that it's adding offset, adding payment as we click these panels on, which realistically it should and will do for you. So as you click these on, it will affect that all in real time. So we're going to resize the system back to our original 28, hit save, and then we've got that on there right now. So everything looks great. Let's move on to the next section of our proposal. So this section is our production and consumption portion. So you'll notice each bar represents that month's usage, January, February, March, April, and so on. So you've got the whole year listed here, and then each of those months will have a bar representing that customer's consumption for that month. Often you get to a customer's house and maybe you get there and they have an updated bill for you. Maybe they let you know that their daughter's just gone to college, so their production will go down. Maybe they're planning on being empty nesters. Whatever the case may be, if you need to change any of this information, typically with most other programs and softwares, you'd have to request a revision at this point and say, hey, their consumption is actually not 12,000 annually. It's going to be closer to 10.5. You'd have to request a revision, request a redesign, wait for that, and then pitch the customer, or maybe even come back for another appointment. With Solo, no way. What you do is you simply click on any of these bars, and it will actually let you adjust that usage. So click on any of them, say we want to change this to 1100, easy to do, 1100, click done. Say you want to change this to 900, easy to do, 900, enter, you're done. Now sometimes that can get a bit tedious. If you need to change 1 or 2 months, it's super easy to click into them, change it, no problem. If you need to change the whole year, that's really easy as well. So we've got a hidden function in here, energy consumption. So if you actually click anywhere on this word, and what you'll do is you'll notice how my cursor changes from the arrow to the text editor. When it does that, you can simply click on this, and you'll notice we've got our annual usage and then each month. So we've got a quick access edit for our manual usage, our monthly usage, and then if we want to just change annually, say we want to go up to 12,000, we can quickly type in 12,000, hit update, and then it will automatically bell curve that out per month. In the same way, if we want to change it to 11.5, we can do that, hit enter, and once again it will update that to show a nice curve. So very, very easy to change that. And if we want to change this to 1100, we can do that. Say we want to change this down to 900. Very, very easy to edit every month in here. So once again, you can click month by month, or you can click on energy consumption, and then you can add it the annual year. Next portion, offset bubble. Not too much explanation needed there. That will show you the offset for your account, for your customer, what this solar system will do in terms of offset for them. As we scroll down here, I'm going to kind of try to bring in these 4 sections all in one. So this section really houses a lot of tools. So it's really, really important to pay attention to all that I'll show you in here, because there is a lot available here. And keep in mind, some of these actions may be restricted by your company. That's a company decision, which I would just recommend respecting for one reason or another. They've got their reasons for doing that. It probably helps with the sales process or maybe the administrative side. Either way, I'll show you what you can do with this section, and then you can talk to your owners about maybe any specific or individual requests. So we'll start in this top left with the Your Current Utility Bill section. So this section, Your Current Utility Bill, this should show the customer what they're currently paying for their utilities. Now you've got a little future analyzer here. This will show them 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years into the future. So you know, maybe today you're paying $159, but in 25 years you're going to be paying $424. You know, how do you feel about that, Mr. and Mrs. Jones? Really easy way to show them the future. That will obviously function off of a certain amount of escalation year over year. So whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7%, it will be functioning off of a percent increase per year. Now you may say, hey, I want to check what this rate is and see what it's actually going up by year by year. Very, very easy to do. Click in your side menu again. Come down to utility escalation right here. Click on it, and then we'll see right now that we're doing 4% per year. Say, you know, I know the area. I know we're just at about 3.2, so I'm going to type in 3.2, click update, and then we'll notice that our 25-year savings change, and then instead of this ending at 424, it's going to end a little lower. So we'll scroll this up and see that now we're at 350 instead of 424 because we've lowered the escalation rate. Our savings are about 23,000. Now if we wanted to pop this up to say 5, because that's more accurate, click update, savings jump up, and then instead of being at 350, now we're at 539. So very easy to change that escalation rate to whatever you need it to be, whatever's accurate. This will default to a value that your owner has set, and then you can adjust it if they've given you the access to. Another thing you can change is the actual bill amount itself. So whether you want to change the bill itself or the kilowatt hour rate, you'll simply click on this number here, and this will open up your utility rate override tool. So you are able to actually adjust the kilowatt hour rate itself or the average bill. So say their average bill is actually closer to 148. You type in 148, hit update, and then that changes that information for you, and once again will affect your savings. On the flip side, you'll have your solar payment. A lot of different factors go into this solar payment. That will be obviously your base price, your panels, inverters, any adders you have. A lot of things will make up this price. We'll look into that really quick. So we'll click into adders. This allows you to add different items to the proposal. So anything that your company has given us that's on the adders list will be in here. And all you should have to do for most of them is simply click them on or click them off. So say, for instance, we want to add energy efficiency. So this I know will just add $1,000, and it will also add 5% offset. We click on that, and we see our $1,000 appear. The Nest thermostat, that adds $300. We click on that, hit save, and then both of these, we see our price in the back is $119. Hit save, jumps up to $125 to factor in that additional $1,300 of equipment that we've just added. So most of these adders, you're able just to click them on or off, and it will affect the price that way. Now they may be a flat price like this. Critter Guard I know is 10 cents a watt, so you can click on that and it'll pull up 10 cents a watt. Some of them you click on them and it'll have you actually type in an amount. Some of them you may click and it will be a drop-down menu where you're able to choose a number of different things. A whole bunch of different things you're able to do. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to take off Nest Energy or Energy Efficiency, and I will keep Critter Guard and Nest Thermostat. Hit save, and now that's all factored in. Now if I want to, I can actually click on my menu again and come into pricing. So say the customer looks at 125. Let's change this bill to make it more competitive. We'll say, this bill's actually 120. So the customer's looking at this and saying, I really wish that this 125 could match my current bill. That way I don't feel like I'm paying more money out of pocket. You say, great, well, let's see what we can do on the price department. Let's see if we can get this 125 down to 120 for you. It's really easy with Solo. You click on your side menu and come into pricing. What we're going to see here is our base price per watt, and then we'll see our adders. Critter Guard add 10 cents a watt. Nest Thermostat adds 4. We've got our dealer fee and our sales tax all included. And then we see our final price per watt is $375, which gives us a loan payment of $124.52. Now, if we want to, we've got this line here, override base price per watt. And this gives us the ability to actually change the base price per watt to get a different monthly payment. So let's start messing with that. So we're going to take off 5 cents and see where that puts us. So 5 cents drops about $3 off, so let's change it to $2.95. That's going to put us just about 120. Let's hit save, and we see now we're at 120. So super easy to do. Once again, click on your side menu, click on pricing, and then you're able to override that price. We'll even change it to $2.94. Get right beneath that $20 mark, hit save, and then we'll see that we're adjusted. You can also shortcut this by clicking on this 120 right here. Click on this, it'll pull up the same tool. So keep in mind, this is your pricing tool. Works really, really great to be able to adjust prices. As you change this number here, your final price and your monthly price will change. So if you're trying to dial in on a price, just kind of click around. So, okay, $2.95 puts me at 120. $3.15 puts me at 128. Let's rest an even 3 and we'll get 123. Great. So very, very easy to kind of click around and mess with that info. If you need to adjust the post-solar utility bill or the utility bill after getting solar, new utility bill, whatever it's called in your market, you can simply click on new utility bill. If you click on this $6, it'll allow you to change it. Maybe it's closer to 10, hit enter, changes that. That will also change your savings. So you're able to kind of adjust all these as you go through the proposal. As we scroll down, you'll notice that you've got your loan options here, and you've got a couple other things. So I'm gonna leave it so you can see this 122 as I change to my different finance options. So with any finance option your company offers, they're going to be built into the proposal. So if we're on a Sunlight 25-year 449, maybe the customer wants to get more aggressive with it and switch to a 15-year. You can easily do that. Click on this gray box. All of your loan options that your company's made available to you will pull up. We support all lenders, so LoanPal, Sunlight, Dividend, Mosaic, Salal, Enium, Enterbank, Lifestyle, Y-Green, all of them are available. Even local credit unions that you may work with, we can go ahead and put them in here too. There's no limit to what we can do with this. So we'll switch from, say, our Sunlight 25-year to a LoanPal 20-year. So we'll click on LoanPal, and we'll see now that this price changed for us automatically. So did our tax rebates and everything else. We'll switch again. So we'll just click into a few of these, and you can see how easy it is to change your loan options. Let's go to a 7-year. High payment, but nice long-term savings. Dividend Empower Plus. So you can see how you can quickly change all these different loan options to mess with whatever the customer's paying. Makes it very, very easy to show them different loan options in real time and keep that sale moving forward. Once you've settled on a loan option, now we've got live integrations with Sunlight and with LoanPal. That live integration allows you to actually run credit in the proposal in real time. It's super slick. It works really well. A lot of people really, really love it. We're coming out with it for Dividend here shortly, and then we should be with a couple other lenders as well. So the way that this works is when you're on, currently if you're on a Sunlight or a LoanPal loan, you'll see this qualify button appears. You simply click on qualify, and then you'll see that the Sunlight Financial Credit Portal will now be in your proposal. It will pull in all the customer's information. You'll have to enter obviously some more particular information, date of birth, social security, gross income. You'll enter a few more bits of info. You can add a co-applicant if you want to. You can then agree to the credit check, and then you'll hit submit. And then what will happen is this box here, this ready to submit, this will show you the application status. So you put all the info in, you hit submit. This is going to say approved, approved with conditions, or denied. If they're approved or approved with conditions, you're immediately going to get the chance to send them the loan documents, as a button will appear right beneath it that says send loan docs. So you'll be able to actually run credit, get everything back, send loan docs in just about under 3 minutes, and then you're done with that whole process. If you work with a lender that does not have the integrated application, such as Salal or maybe some of the credit unions, what we can do is with this link, and I'll click on a LoanPal loan to show you, is we can actually reroute this qualify link anywhere you want. So you click on qualify, and this will just take us to the LoanPal homepage. So it can take you anywhere you want. You just send us a link. Maybe it's to your own separate credit qualification. Maybe it's a Google survey. Whatever it is, you just simply let us know, and we'll plug that in for you. You can also toggle your rebates or incentives on and off. Keep in mind, we're not tax professionals. You're not tax professionals. This is simply saying if you were to qualify and if you were to apply this incentive to your loan, this is what your long-term payment would be. If you were to qualify and you didn't apply it, this is what it would be. If you don't qualify, this is what it would be. So you're just simply showing them different options. Now you may run into people that maybe they want to apply a partial amount of this federal tax credit to their utilities. Sure, no problem. Let's click on our side menu, come down to incentives, and then we see we've got our federal, and then in Utah we have a state tax credit. We'll click on these two to kind of see what that looks like. So right now we've got 8276. Maybe they'll only be able to claim 5,500 of it. Sure, sounds reasonable. Hit save, and then we'll see that that number has now adjusted to show that, and our payment will now reflect a different tax incentive tacked onto it. If you want to hide incentives, so some companies put in custom incentives, maybe it's money back, maybe it's deal of the day, maybe it's refer a friend, whatever it is. Maybe it doesn't apply to all customers, maybe it applies to just some of them, or maybe you just don't want to show it all the time and you want to use it as kind of a back pocket technique where if they're not wanting to close, you can say, hey, what if I give you $500 off right now? Would that make you do it? Sure. You can go ahead and show this incentive. You can pop it up on the proposal real quick. So if you want to hide it, you simply click on hidden in your menu, hit save, and then they're gone. The customer won't see it, they won't know it, but the moment you're like, hey, well, how about we give you those incentives and see what your price looks like now? Click off hidden, both will be there, hit save. Look at that, looks a lot better, doesn't it? So you're able to actually hide and edit those as you want to. You can factor in down payments, so if you wanted to say, on this one, we see that our loan amount is this $31,000. We've got our federal tax credit, a state tax credit for a net system cost. Maybe you want to add in a $3,000 down payment because they want to do that. Just type in $3,000, click out of this box, and then you'll see now that we've got a system cost, down payment, so we get our loan amount, and then our net system cost will be down here as well. So you'll be able to kind of edit that out as you see fit. We'll go ahead and take the down payment out. The rest of the proposal is customizable, so if you do see anything that maybe you want to customize or maybe any information, feedback, tips you wanted to give to your owners or managers, this image can be edited. Anywhere you see these page breaks like this, you can actually insert new pages. So if there's certain pages that talk about maybe your warranties, installation techniques, maybe any information like that, we can actually add pages in for you as well. As you scroll down, you'll notice we've got some infographics on savings equations. This is how much money you would save. This is what you're currently paying. This is what it would be in 25 years. We'll annualize those numbers for you. Essentially, these are all sales and closing tools to help you drive the point home that the customer is going to be saving money over the long term and hopefully in the short term, and that getting solar is a good idea for them. This will go into the facts, the feel-good facts. CO2 will be offset, trees planted, and estimated home value added. All of these are source linked to different government studies. This page will go into the process, so you'll see the process for getting solar. So steps 1 through 7, once again, you can customize this background image. You can adjust these steps. You can really change this to be whatever your company wants. And then last but not least, we have our proposal details page. This will show them what they're currently paying for their utilities and they're currently consuming on an annual basis. The next section will show their solar system size, what it would do for them in terms of production, 25-year production, annual degradation, all that information. And then this would be how they're going to pay for it, what their loan looks like, post-solar annual bill, more information. Now at this point, you're probably going to want to share it with the customer. We've got a few different options baked in. You can do your export to PDF. This will chop that up nice and neat into 9 even pages. You could print that, you could attach it to an email, you could save it to your computer. What you could also do is you can make one iteration of this proposal with, say, a Sunlight 25-year loan, come in here, export to PDF, and then you can make another iteration with a Lone Pal 10-year loan, come in here, export to PDF. You can send the customer both, and they can look at them side by side. So you could even create side-by-side comparisons with that as well. Next option is share. This is going to pull in the customer's email and phone number. This is what I was talking about at the very beginning of the call where I was saying it's important that that info is correct because when it comes down to this and you want to share it with the customer, if their info is correct, you can simply click send email or send text and it'll immediately send this to their email or their text. The best part about that is that this sidebar, So this menu will be gone, as well as all of the clickable and toggleable features within the proposal. Everything gets stripped away. They just get a view-only static version of the proposal. So it's safe to send it that way and trust that they won't be able to change and kind of manipulate the proposal in a way you don't want them to. Last but not least, you'll have some utility bill information. So this will show their utility bill, kind of give them some more numbers to look at so they can see January bill, what the monthly connection fee, what the tiered rate, taxes. So this could kind of show them all that information about what those fixed charges and what the subtotals would be. So they would be able to see the existing and the new bill, kind of more information like that. So pretty cool feature that they're able to access and see at any given time as well. So we'll hit close in the bottom right, excuse me. But that really covers all the features in the proposal that I was going to go over today. Let me check and see if we have any questions. Doesn't look like we have any questions on the screen share right now. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll cut the stream here, but I really want to thank you all for joining. So all those who are on the screen share, really appreciate the time you took to go through the training. I hope it was beneficial. We do these every Tuesday. The first and third Tuesday is for owners and admins. The second and fourth is for reps. So we'll be going over different things each time. Most of it will be a basic training and then something more advanced. Today I just went a little longer and didn't have the time to do the more advanced training. So feel free to hop in anytime you want. Once again, thank you for being a customer. Thank you for joining Solo. Please reach out to our customer success team if you have any questions, or please reach out to your owners and managers if you saw any features in this that you would like to have added to your account, or any customizations that you think your company should make. You as the rep have a lot of feedback and say in that process. We see most of that information and feedback does actually come from reps. So you've got a great opportunity to kind of help them out and to hone this in to make it a really valuable tool for you and for your company. So again, thank you guys so much for your time. We'll catch you next.